We looked at BIM and we saw that it was a pretty powerful technology. We saw that it was a pretty disruptive technology, so the implementation of BIM was going to take a little bit of effort. We looked at what contractors and designers were doing in the US. They were way ahead of what we were doing in Canada, and it occurred to us that really what they were doing in the US was really the shape of things to come in Canada. And from a strategic point of view, we thought, boy, we better start looking at this technology, understanding how it's applied, getting it introduced into the way we do things on a day-by-day basis at Ledcor, because we thought if we didn't, we were going to kind of miss the boat. There's no question that people understand the projects a lot better, a lot more quickly, especially when it comes time to talk to people who are non-technical in nature. Most of those people who don't work in the industry really don't understand two-dimensional drawings, but they certainly understand a three-dimensional picture of a building. And the technology allows us to really slice and dice the building in a number of different ways and explain things to people that they would have a difficult time understanding if they were just looking at two-dimensional drawings. A lot of the old-time superintendents used to tell me that, if you're going to be successful building a project in the field, you have to build it in your head first. So, BIM technology really allows you to build it virtually before you have to build it actually. So you can solve a lot of problems ahead of time simply by seeing the way the building goes together. You can more effectively plan how the building goes together and more effectively communicate how you want it to go together using the technology. Complicated buildings like the UBC Pharmaceutical building in Vancouver have a lot of mechanical and electrical components. In that particular case, there are interstitial floors where a lot of the mechanical systems are housed. That stuff all has to fit in and amongst the structure that supports the interstitial floor. And it's an occupied floor, so we have to preserve exiting routes and things like that. So we do clash detections to make sure that pipes and ducts don't bump into one another or bump into walls or things of that nature. But we also have to make sure that pipes don't intrude on spaces that must be kept free for exiting reasons or for servicing reasons around mechanical pieces of equipment. Designers are getting more inventive and more creative in the shapes they're designing for buildings. The Art Gallery of Alberta, if you take a look at that, certainly has a very unusual shape, and probably without BIM technology it would be almost impossible to manufacture a number of those components that went into building that building. So the other thing is that subcontractors, when they're coming to do takeoffs or coming to do estimates, sometimes have a very difficult time visualizing what the building is going to look like when it's presented in two dimensions. So using three-dimensional technology, the BIM technology, it really enhances their understanding. It makes them much more comfortable with the way in which the building has to go together and more comfortable that they understand it and that the quantities they've taken off are correct. So that goes a long way in reducing their anxiety and their risk, and hopefully then we get some better pricing because risk is better understood and better able to be coped with.